Welcome back to the Campus Involvement Podcast. Today's episode will highlight on the University of Iowa's Dance Marathon and why it deserves greater attention. I'm Bridget, and today we'll be joined by Cylin, Rachel, and Will. Dance Marathon is an organization that raises money nationwide for emotional and financial support and their services for pediatric oncology patients and their families. Although the fundraising year begins and ends with the big event, participants diligently fundraise 365 days a year. Within the 24-hour span of the big event, they celebrate the end of a fundraising year, kick off the start to the new year, honor the kiddos both past and present, and dance till they drop. As much as the financial impact Dance Marathon makes is massive, the emotional support Dance Marathon provides is arguably even greater. During the big event, able-bodied dancers may not sit, sleep, or drink caffeine. This commitment shows thousands of brave families that they never need to fight alone.
In order to learn more about Dance Marathon at the University of Iowa, we set out to interview a variety of members in Dance Marathon, all with unique positions in the organization. Our first interviewee was Megan O'Neill, a second-year dancer with the organization. We also interviewed Kaylee Hayam and Haley Daloya, members of leadership in Dance Marathon. Curious to understand what drew those generous students to the organization, we asked our interviewees what exactly attracted them to volunteering their time and efforts towards Dance Marathon. Kaylee answered,
When I took one of my first visits to Iowa, I went to a football game with my dad, and we did the wave for the first time. And so I knew I wanted to somehow get involved with the hospital and the kiddos up there. And the easiest way to do that was Dance Marathon because it was so publicly advertised to students when we were visiting and when we started school here in the fall. So, yeah.
We had heard the term dancer before in relation to Dance Marathon, so we asked Megan what that entailed.
That is fundraising, dancing for the full 24 hours, participating in events and all that kind of stuff.
Some brave students were even willing to take on bigger roles and responsibility, becoming leaders within the organization. To handle the responsibility of fundraising at the most basic level in Dance Marathon can be taxing, let alone taking on a leadership position. So we wished to understand why some students are courageous enough to embrace those advanced roles. We first asked Haley what her position was, and she told us,
Last year I was a dancer, so basically you just fundraise the standard $500 to participate. And then just now I got onto the operations committee for Dance Marathon, so we basically do all the behind the scenes work. We do a lot of organizing and planning and decorating and stuff like that. And so I'm on ops.
Curious as to what Kaylee's position in the organization was, we extended the question to her as well.
I'm now on leadership, and I'm on the creative committee on the merch subcommittee, so I get to help pick out all the t-shirts and stickers and lanyards that we sell and help organize that and occasionally help design t-shirts, so that's fun.
Although Dance Marathon is mostly recognized for its big event, the fundraising is actually carried out by the participants during the entire year. To comprehend how these young adults are able to keep themselves motivated to raise money for such an extended period of time, we questioned our interviewees as to how they remain focused throughout the fundraising process. Megan explained that
we do something at every dancer meetings. We have them once a month, and it's where families come in and they tell their stories. And I think for me that's something that's really motivating, just because I think that some people can get caught up in Dance Marathon, just the money would be I raised this, I raised that. So it's nice to have that reminder of who you're doing it for and what the reason behind why you're doing it. It's always good to just I think it keeps you grounded. It reminds me why, I don't know, you should be grateful to even be there and be allowed to raise money for that, and that's something that motivates me all year long.
Haley also explained the incentives program that is extended to the dancers as they raise more money when she told us.
Well, for me, I had different motivations. So first I wanted to hit that 500 just so I could go. And then after I hit the 500, I wanted to push myself and see how much I could fundraise total. And obviously the kids are the biggest motivation. And I also wanted to hit 1K to be a part of 1K club and to be able to sit during the big event, which was really fun. And then like that kind of motivated me to like raise as much as I could just to see like how much of a difference I could make on Dance Marathon.
When it comes to staying motivated during the big event, Kaylee explained that.
I think just knowing that like every dollar is going to the kids and like their families and helping them take a step towards beating cancer. I just have to like remember the families.
At this point in our investigation of Dance Marathon, we had heard a lot about the big event, but we had yet to fully understand what made it special. To help us learn more about it, we asked our interviewees what, in their eyes, makes the big event special. Megan told us,
I think that is just so unique. Something about Iowa is that we do it for 24 hours, and I know a lot of other campuses do it for less. I think that's something that's special to me, is just like being able to stay up for those full 24 hours, because like it was really hard, like it wasn't something that was easy. So it was special for me like to be able to actually say like I did that, not just for myself, but like for the people who are in far more need than I am.
When we asked Haley the same question, she described why the big event was special for her personally.
So personally, I've never stayed up for 24 hours straight. So it was my first like time actually doing that. And also it was cool because you actually got to see all of the families together in one space, and kind of see like where your fundraising is actually going. Because you would have like the occasional family would talk at a meeting and stuff like that, but like seeing everyone in the same room celebrating the same thing and like the same accomplishments that we all like fundraised together, it was such a cool thing to see. And like definitely during like power hour and during like the totals, like when the totals were being shown up on the boards, like that kind of made it all worth it in the end. And I think that makes it really special, just like to see all of our hard work being put towards something and seeing how that like change works.
Our interviewees provided us with some insight in regards to the remarkable impact the big event has had on the kiddos and their families over the years. Aside from the insurmountable financial aid that Dance Marathon provides, we wanted to know what about the big event is special for the families. Kaylee explained the impact that the big event has on the kids fighting cancer when she answered,
I think it's so important for families because all of the kids who have raised all of that money for them are there together in one building, cheering them on and supporting them. And I think it just helps them feel like all the love that we pour out for them. And it's just so fun for all the kids to hang out with the students.
Megan was asked the same question. She explained that the focus during the big event shifts compared to the rest of the year. She said,
I think it's so important for families because it recognizes the families the most out of like any other thing we do. A lot of like the meetings and the events is really like student focused, especially the meetings, like it's focused on like how to raise more money and how to do this. But when it comes to the big event, it's like 100% about the families, and like making sure they're having a good time and like focusing it on them. So I think that makes it like really, really like important for them to see that and to see everyone that's there. Like I think families like hear about it, you know what I mean? I think they're kept up to date on everything, because they're the main reason we're there. But like to actually see the dancers and see that there are people there who like care a lot, I think is really important for them. And important like to know that people are there to support you even though you don't even know them. I think that's important.
The University of Iowa Dance Marathon is one of the largest dance marathons in the nation, having raised over $27.5 million over the 25 years it has been in existence. The University of Iowa Dance Marathon has been a huge success, and we want to gain numbers perspective on what separates this dance marathon from all others around the nation.
When asked,
What set UI Dance Marathon apart from others, Megan told us,
I think what sets us apart from other ones is that we raise so much money. Like, I mean, even a small amount of money is an incredible achievement, but, like, we raise so much. Like, last year we didn't break it, but the years before we broke 3 million. Like, that's incredible to think how much money, like, just students alone, like, a student-ran organization could raise that much money. I think that's incredible. But something so unique about Iowa is how popular it is on campus. I know a lot of other campuses who do it, whose like kids just aren't as they are dedicated, but they just aren't it's just not as well known. And so I think it's really, really amazing that there's students out there on this campus who are so dedicated to it that they're able to go out and to not just on campus, but they're able to go out into the world. And last year we partnered with like Aflac, so that's incredible. Like that's a huge company across the U.S. So the fact that students on our campus were able to go out and like communicate with them and raise money from them, I think that's incredible. So I think that's something that's really unique to Iowa. It's just the dedication.
When asked the same question, Haley explained.
We raised so much money from the course of the year in comparison to other schools. Like, I was looking at some of my other friends' dance marathons and their social media, and they're like, oh, my goal is like $100. And I was like, interesting, because we have to do like a minimum of 500 and stuff like that. And I think it's cool that our children's hospital is super close by. Like, it is one of like the buildings of campus that everyone knows, and I think that kind of connects all of us together. And like even during football games for like the wave and stuff like that, so we're very connected, I feel like, to our hospital here, and I think that's why it's so big as well. Like, you kind of see where your impact is. Like, a family walking down the street could potentially have been like a DM family or something like that. So I think that kind of sets us apart from it, and like also so many people are involved in it here that like it's hard not to find someone who's involved in Dance Marathon.
Being diagnosed with cancer can be traumatic regardless of your age, but the impact it has on children may take a far larger toll. When your child is in hospital fighting cancer, you have more than enough on your plate. Dance Marathon strives to remove some of the burden, whether it be financial or emotional. The University of Iowa Dance Marathon big event deserves wider attention both among those in Iowa City and nationwide, because of the financial and long-lasting emotional impacts left on pediatric oncology patients and their families. Thank you so much for tuning in on this week's episode of Campus Enrollment. And we hope you learn a bit about Dance Marathon. For those interested in registering to join UI Dance Marathon 26, visit dancemarathon.uiowa.edu. Have a great summer.